Shanti, Shanti.
But the whole difference, the infinite variety of the universe is projected or is appearing on the consciousness where there is no variation at all, no differentiation at all. That is why yesterday we repeatedly mentioned that Abheda Darshanam Jnanam. The knowledge means to go beyond all the divisional, fragmentation, divisional outlook, divisional vision. So Sattvika Jnana is knowledge, is that knowledge which finds the one unchanging truth. Sarva bhuteshu yena ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. Ikshana. Ikshana is not seeing with the eyes or senses. It is not a sensory perception. Ikshana means it is a vision of the buddhi. When we say buddhi, actually with the intellectual buddhi we understand. Often I ask that have you understood? People say that yes, theoretically I have understood or intellectually I have understood. But it has not become actualized or realization. Why? Because buddhi, what we say generally, that buddhi is analyzing. Always effortful analysis is there. We are putting effort to analyze, to know which is true, which is not, etc. But this buddhi is actually offshoot of a real intelligence in us, the fundamental intelligence in us, which you can call bodhi or prajna, as we say, where things get revealed. Whatever understanding we have, that takes place in the fundamental intelligence, the bodhi or the prajna there. Truly speaking, things will become actualized when it appears in the buddhi directly. Suppose somebody is not able to understand something. With lot of analysis also we are not able to understand. You sleep and early morning when you get up, suddenly you find that truth dawns in you. It is very common. Even the poets also write poetry like that. Or the scientists discover like that. They have been thinking, maybe sometimes for months and years that the real thing did not come. One day after sleep, suddenly when he gets up, the truth dawns in him. But that has not come out of the effortful intelligential exercise. Because sleep was absolutely restful, in that the real truth dawns. Many of the enlightenment, those who are spiritual sadhaks, spiritual practitioners, you will find that the enlightenment really dawns. We don't have to twist and effortful analysis. With that, our mind is helped. It is certainly necessary to make the mind thinking, ruminating on the truth, to make it one-pointed. When that is done, the real enlightenment, it simply dawns. It is not coming out of such effortful intelligential exercises. Is it not so? To some extent everybody will. In meditation suddenly the truth dawns. Particularly if we sit in the early morning meditation and we don't try to become, generally people have the tendency to become thoughtless. Actually, early morning meditation is not to become thoughtless. Early morning we are opening to life. The whole nature is moving towards light, moving towards life, activity. So that is the time our body, mind, personality is also opening up for activity. That is the time if you try to take away all the thoughts, that means bring it back into a withdrawn state. It is going against nature. But suppose we allow simply the whole being to open up to nature, we will find lot of enlightenment dawns at that time. In meditation also, early morning meditation, you will find lot of enlightenment dawns at that time. Whereas in the evening, when the whole nature is collapsing, the whole nature is withdrawing from life to sleep, that is the time if you want to become thoughtless, you withdraw. It is just like the folding of the leaves. Not like the touch me not. Touch me not, there is a suddenness in the collapse. But if you look into nature, all the plants, trees, everything is withdrawing from life. They are not taut. They become relaxed, they become very soft and withdraws from. So our mind also withdraws at that time. So the real enlightenment, as I said this to say that in early morning sometimes the real enlightenment dawns in the buddhi. Now this sattvika buddhi is such that it becomes, the intelligence becomes receptive to this sattvika knowledge. Sattvika buddhi is a buddhi which becomes very receptive to sattvika knowledge. What is sattvika knowledge? Just now I said, sarva bhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyayam ikshate. That is the ikshana. I started from there. Ikshana is the vision of the buddhi, of the fundamental bodhi. That is the fundamental intelligence. It has a vision. It understands the truth. That is the ikshana. It is not with the senses or with the effortful buddhi exercise. So he finds that oneness, unchanging oneness in everything. So it is more and more sattvic our buddhi becomes, our being, as our being becomes more and more sattvic, we find that our understanding is becoming more and more comprehensive. Earlier perhaps we were sticking too much to my opinion, my preferences. In discussions always we enter into fight because we always try to defend our point of view. We cannot see the truth in others' point of view. As the sattvika guna increases, we will find that although I have a view, but I am able to understand the truth in others' views also. So such people will become mediators also, because he can understand the defect in each and the guna in the good points, qualities in each, and they can sort it out well. So this comprehensiveness of the vision, that comes from the sattvika buddhi. Now here what are we doing? We are trying to expose or enlighten you with the truth of this oneness, the consciousness on which the whole multiple variety of the world is coming out. And there comes the difficulty. Now here what we are doing is, we are trying to imbue some sattvika guna in you through our words. Is it not so? Are you able to? Through our words, through our expressions, through our thinking, sometimes effortful also, what we are trying to do is to imbue the sattvika guna in you through the expressions, so that you start understanding the oneness in the multiplicity. Yesterday I asked somebody, he said, समझ तो जाते हैं लेकिन स्वामी जी जब बाहर निकलते हैं तो सब चला जाता है. That means here they are able to receive. The receptivity comes if the humility is there, then because some sattvika influence is constantly burgeoning, it is banging on you, so the buddhi is receiving the sattvika qualities and becoming sattvika and able to understand the unified truth, the transcendental truth. This is happening here. But then why, as soon as you come out, it goes away? Bhagavad Gita says that because we don't have the sattvika dhriti, buddhi, then comes dhriti. Dhriti means retentivity, the retaining power. Dharana. Dharana means to retain. Now first of all, buddhi, well, by words, by expressions, we are trying to incorporate some sattvikatva in you. But the dhriti you have to incorporate by your own practice, because it is a constant process. Dhriti means you have to retain that. Now you have received the sattvika truth, but the moment you come out, you are not exposed to this anymore. You go out in your own worldliness or world, active world. Then all the rajasika, tamasika things are cluttering you, spoiling your buddhi. So the sattvika vision, the ikshana, it goes away. It does not remain. Avyayam ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. It is not seeing with the eyes that every time once I see, every time we will see. With the buddhi we have to, ikshana has to be had. We have to comprehend. That comprehension we are having here, but the moment we are going out, we are not having. That means the moment we go out, we are under the spell of non-sattvic gunas, which is not allowing us to retain that sattvika knowledge. That sattvika dhriti is lacking. So it is not just sattvika buddhi we have to incorporate sattvika dhriti also to become more and more spiritual and understand the truth. What is the benefit? With the sattvika dhriti, sattvika buddhi, we will become more impersonal, more impartial, We will not get affected by anything. We will remain unaffected. Whatever the qualities of the soul we have been discussing all these days, those soul qualities will adorn us. So we will become, our mind, intelligence will become more and more like the soul. That is why I say whether soul exists or not does not matter at all. By interacting with the concept of the soul, we are becoming like the soul. That means we are developing more and more of sattva guna, and finally the sattva guna bondage also has to be overcome to become like the soul. This is the purpose. Now, how to become sattvika? That you have to do. In Chandogya Upanishad there is a story I have told earlier also, that Narada Sanat Kumara Samvada. It's a conversation between Narada and Sanat Kumara. Narada, you know, he used to go everywhere, moving around, and he had read everything. Now one day he happened to meet Sanat Kumara, who was a very young seer, rishi, but very young boy. So Narada asks him that you give me upadesha. Upadesha means you give me knowledge. Then Sanat Kumara asked that before I tell you anything, I have to know what you know. Only then I can tell you something. What do you know? You tell me first. You should read that paragraph. It's such a big paragraph of Narada's reply, where everything on earth is there. Everything he knows, from the Vedas to Vedangas, as we have seen here, the 4 Vedas and 6 Vedangas. Apart from that, he is talking about so many other things, even black magic, white magic, and so many other things, how to deceive a person, everything. All the knowledge in the world he had. But after finishing the paragraph, he is saying, but mantra vidosmi, natu atmavid. I know all these mantras, I have the theoretical knowledge. Whatever I said, all these shastras, I have the theoretical knowledge of it. But I don't know the meaning of it. That is, I am not known the soul. Tarati shokam atmavid. I have known that a person who knows his self, he overcomes shoka, depression, grief. He overcomes grief. So Narada discloses before Sanat Kumara that I have not been able to overcome grief. I am still haunted by grief. I have learned everything in the world. I have gone to this rishi, I learned this, I went there I learned this, I know everything on earth. But even then I find that my mind still gets depressed. Still I am grieving. So I have read that an Atmavid should not have grief. So I am having grief. That means I am not an Atmavid. You give me Atmopadesha. Then he starts speaking. In that he says that the Atmopadesha, the fundamental necessity is this Sattva Guna. So he says that Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhihi. This is a very good shloka, we should remember. Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhi. Sattva means our being, of which our personality is made. Ahara Shuddhau means from the purification of our ahara. Ahara means food. Not only through the mouth. Food means all inputs we take. We are eating through the mouth. We are taking ahara as the vision. Whatever we are seeing with the eyes, that is ahara for the eyes. Whatever sound we are hearing, they are ahara for the ears. This I have discussed on the first day also. All the sense organs, whatever inputs we are taking from the world, they are ahara for those senses. So ahara shuddha means from the purification of all the inputs, whatever we are taking, we have to purify them. By purifying the inputs, sattva shuddhi, our being becomes purified. Sattva shuddhi, our being gets purified. Why? Because the being is made of ahara. Primarily the physical gross part is made of the food, direct the food through the mouth. The subtle parts are made of what we are reading, what we are hearing, what we are seeing, everything. Suppose if we read very good books, very good thoughts are there, then will not our mind also will become good and subtle by absorbing those thoughts? So although the body is made of basically the heredity, the inherited cells and the food, our mind is made of whatever thoughts have been collected. Not only the parents, we have our teachers, we had our teachers, we have read so many books. Suppose I identify so much with Shankaracharya's philosophy. So will not my mind be made with his philosophy? So I am imbibing Shankara's mind or say Rabindranath Thakur's mind when I like some poet's compositions and I relish that. What does it mean? That whatever mindset the poet had, I am imbibing them. So my mind is made of infinite such sources. Whatever we have read, whatever we have listened. See, as I am speaking also, these whatever my thoughts are they not going you and making some addition to your mind? So there you are imbibing from my mind something. As I have heard from others, I have imbibed from them. So we don't generally think in detail. From entire universe is making us. We think I am a fragmented being, separate, I am this, and all others are different. It is not so. Everything is mixed. In our mind, the whole world, not only the present world, the entire past world also, whatever thoughts people have recorded, we are getting, all the thoughts are coming in my mind and they are making my mind. So the ahara, although the food is a gross food we are taking and we can make it sattvika to make our body sattvika, but the whole being, sattva, will not become sattvika. Sattva means the being, all the entire personality, will not become sattvika just by making the gross food sattvic. We have to make all our aharas sattvic. If we purify all the inputs, then automatically our being also gets purified. Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smriti. When the being becomes purified, the memory of the truth becomes consolidated. Dhruva means unchanging. This, whatever we are discussing about soul, what I said, that although I am understanding here, the moment I go out, I am not able to retain it. Dhruva smriti means, whatever we are receiving, that gets retained. And finally the Atmiya knowledge, the knowledge of the soul, that also is retained. We will not lose it anymore. That means it becomes the ikshana of the buddhi, of the fundamental intelligence, it sees it. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smritihi. Smriti lambhe sarvagranthīnām vipramokshaha. Smriti lambhe. When that smriti is got, this memory of this, our real identity, which I have been talking all these days. What is this memory? Memory of our own self, our real identity. We are thinking I am small, limited by the body, mind, personality. I am doing this, always I am affected by dukkha, sukha, etc. That is not my real identity. The real identity is all pervading everywhere, never affected by anything at all, unchanging that identity. So that is the dhruva smriti. When that memory is had, then sarvagranthīnām vipramokshaha. Whatever knots we have in our heart, which we have collected through heredity, through whatever interactions we have been doing throughout our life, we are only creating knots within, constrictions within. Ego, knots are of desire, of ego, which is making us stressful, which is making our mind constricted. Sarvagranthīnām vipramokshaha. Mark the language. Mokshaha means liberated. That means all the knots get untied. Now they have not just said moksha. They said vipramokshaha. Pramokshaha means prakrishta rupena mokshaha. That means they are very well untied. They will not again come back like the dog's tail. That you open the knot, as it is now happening, maybe I am able to open the knot to some extent. By the moment you walk out of the hall, it is again, the knot is coming back. So when the being gets purified, then the knot gets open and it is not pramoksha means it will not again come back and get knotted again. Vi means vishesha rupena. That means knots, it is not only in one case. We have collected knots in various ways, in various aspects of our being, various aspects of our mind, our emotions. Knots are full, the whole being is full of knots. So B means each knot in each area, all the knots are broken. That is the liberation we talk about. The liberation is not to get born in the next life or so. It's all primary class or preparatory class concepts. The liberation is whatever bondage we are finding in this now in our mind, those bondages are gone. We feel we are free. So when the knots are all gone, we become absolutely liberated. So he said that smriti lambhe sarva granthinam vipramoksha, vipramoksha. It is absolute liberation takes place from there. So this understanding of the unity in diversity, or understanding this transcendental truth, understanding I may supply some sattvika knowledge, sattvika buddhi, but to retain it you have to do yourself. There are two ways. One is to always purify our inputs, that is from food, gross food to subtle food, everything has to be purified. Another is vichara. Vichara means constantly rumination of the truth. By that what will happen? By that the mind will interact constantly with the concept of the soul. Whatever we interact with, the qualities of that is gained by us. Suppose there is a ball standing, another ball coming and hitting it. So this standing ball starts moving. Why? There is an exchange of energy. The moving ball gives the momentum to the standing ball. Like that, whatever thing we are interacting with, we are imbibing those qualities. If you stay with an angry person, after some time you will find your mind has become agitated. If you stay with a peaceful person, you will find automatically your mind has become peaceful. Because just by remaining near also, that interaction takes place. So if we constantly do vichara on this truth, whenever we are active, if we always think that this is my real anchor, this is my real identity, whenever we are getting lost to the world, we get back to that core anchor in us, then what will happen? This vichara will constantly imbue the soul qualities in our mind. So interacting with the concept of this soul, finally the mind becomes the soul. So here this dhriti has to be generated by you through your sadhana, by your constant vichara and constant purification of the inputs we are getting. There I cannot help. But I can try to help you in the process of reception, in the process of understanding that this oneness. There could be various examples to understand. Suppose this electricity. Has anybody seen electricity? But this same electricity is sometimes coming out as different kinds of lights, sometimes red light, sometimes yellow light, sometimes white light, sometimes blue light. The same electricity is manifesting as the fan, rotating and producing wind, giving you the wind. The same electricity can be used for any motor churning anything, or heating, or microwave. Everywhere it is the same electricity. So many different kinds of fans are there. But the electricity does not have any form. Even we cannot see it separately. Only when it is manifest through some gross matter, something, we are seeing it. We are knowing it. Otherwise we will not know. So the electricity which is producing this multifarious activities, it does not have any of these activities in it at all. But it can produce that, it is there in its potential to produce all kinds of activities. Even the light is produced by electricity. Suppose in the cinema what is happening? We are shown something happening, some scene somewhere, either some of happiness or grief, and we completely identify ourselves, we start shedding tears or we laugh and all. Everything is real. Some people are moving around, even the bombing sometimes nowadays three-dimensional is there. The tiger will suddenly jump on you, you will become fearful also. Everything is happening. But what it is? Some light is coming through the projector and it is moving. Some plates are moving. Where are the people there? Anything is there, but is it not a complete illusion? But it is true also. You are interacting in that, you are getting completely involved in that. And where from this light is coming? Again that electricity. The whole movie, whatever we are getting, the whole world of the movie, we are getting engaged in, that is created by non-visible electricity somewhere, which is running the projector. So, to understand this one truth, the transcendental truth, we have to look into examples we can take. That is only to help our intelligence. But finally we have to have the ikshana, the vision of our fundamental intelligence. Suppose even light, light cannot be seen. Do you agree? Suppose when you see the space photographs, you find the earth is there, the sunlight is falling on the earth. Earth looks blue, but it is standing in absolutely black space. The stars, the planets, they are all glowing in black space. The sun is here and the earth is here. The light is coming from here to here. You see the earth, but are you seeing the light coming from the sun to here? The light cannot be seen. Only when it is interacting with matter, the matter can be seen.